I'll say well done.
Thank you very much.
We saw all of that on television, but we still have issues with crowd control and even taking out the dead from accident sites. One wonders if you have enough body bags and if you have enough tools and machines to cut some of these open. If you go to other parts of the world, even a road traffic accident, when they arrive at the scene, you see the equipment with which they use in cutting open a vehicle. Till date, we still see axes, mattocks that you use at home or the firewood cellar to cut open some of these. And they say some of the impact of this equipment can actually cause more harm to some victims who are not dead yet. So are you working in that direction?
Well, definitely we are working in that direction. But if you look at it yesterday, we have all our light duty equipment in there. We have the cutter, we have the spreader, and we are able to cut through the airplane. But there is no doubt about that some aspect we have to use our local axes to cut in, because those equipment are hydraulic power. There will be certain extent that you have to dig in with your axe to be able to put in your sophisticated equipment. So that is why we are using both our local equipment and our sophisticated equipment. We have all the sophisticated equipment in there yesterday, and we even have backups of the sophisticated equipment. And we have the body bags that we use to evacuate all the dead ones. If you look at it yesterday, we have all the body bags. We still even have the backups body bags. And you can see that the key thing that you will appreciate is that our ambulances are advanced mobile ambulances that have certain equipment, and which make it even better for the specialists to be able to handle the victims. So from the scene to the hospital, the patients are well taken care of.
What about your information communication systems, especially with regards to working with other agencies? How well have you been able to harmonize that?
Yeah, but you can see yesterday that it was well harmonized. The only problem we have is that when we took out the caskets that belongs to His Excellency late Agagu, there was a sort of rancor because of the family issue, and we have to hand it over to the Nigeria Air Force ambulance. We evacuated. It's expected. It's expected that we have to discuss. There's nothing bad after when you are doing operation for you to have a short meeting to discuss. One will agree this one, and the consensus will take the way.
You know, when I did ask about if there are new information coming through to the state government as a result of the emergency work carried out by agencies such as yours for the state, I was actually going the way of buildings, new buildings that will be springing up, especially the public buildings or
Yes.
the commercial ones. Do they have any such ideas as, look, you should have provision for water hydrants and parks to allow spaces for emergency response, such as this one?
Yes, it's going on.
New buildings, do they insist on buildings having water hydrants for fire service departments?
Well, the fire services, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Housing, they are coming up with in conjunction with the Water Corporation. We are going to have fire hydrants located in a lot of places all over the state, strategically. And apart from that, the building code now that we are putting in place, they are going to have fire hydrants positioned all over these houses.
Is there any communication or education that goes to the public, especially such that they don't trample on the crash sites, because those sites are supposed to be investigation sites? And besides, first of all, talk about that one. Any education for the public in terms of how to conduct themselves when cases like this happen?
Yeah. Well, the straight to it, if you have any emergency in Lagos State especially, what you just need to do is to call 767. And after calling 767, if you are not first aid certified person, don't go to the scene. Allow the first responders to have access to the scene. And you can say that immediately they call us on 767, all the emergency response plan of the state was activated. We have NEMA in there, we have the fire services in there, we have the federal fire services in there. And the goal of everybody is to save life without saying, oh, I'm this or that. And it was well coordinated by us. There was no problem.
What about information with regards to accidents like this, when they do happen or when it does happen? Do you have a contact point? Yes, finally, I think the federal government did something fantastic on this by having an information like a resource center where you can actually call to get information. Do you have that with LASEMA now?
Yes.
Because once you had some issues with some other agencies concerning information with when incidents like this occur.
Yes, we do. Whenever there's any form of emergency, we will make sure that we'll perform the operation, and after the operation, we'll disseminate the information to the appropriate training.
Are you a part of the emergency response room?
Yeah.
That has been set up by the AIB?
Yes, I have a representative in there.
Okay, so you don't have a separate one.
We don't have the separate one. We have to come together. We are all working towards the same goal. So not that you will have yours there, we will have yours there, so that we won't have any conflict information being spread.
I think that's interesting to see that they're all working together.
We are all working together.
That's the way to go. But in terms of on-the-spot communication, I mean, as it happens, is there anyone who is always there to tell people this is this current situation now? Because, of course, as you know, so many pieces of information out there before, but since Mr. Dati said, now we can tell you there are 7 bodies recovered.
Yes. Well, this time around, I need to emphasize that press is part of our emergency response team. And we need to appeal that, when any incident occurred, it will be hot. We are still working until after they should please allow us to finish the working so that we will correlate everything, then we'll be able to disseminate the information. But you will see some people, they won't know the information, they are not there, they will just hear it, they will be sending BlackBerry information. These are things we are appealing to the crowd that they should not be part of it. They should wait. We have ways of disseminating information during emergency. They should still wait for us, because information dissemination is very, very important in managing emergency. So while we are responding, we have to concentrate all our effort to respond. After we might have responded, after we have been on top of our game, then we disseminate information that, oh, this is what is happening, this is what we handle, this is how far we've gone. Because remember, yesterday, we used 3 centers. We have Nigeria Air Force, we have the FAN Medical Center, and we have the Lagos State Teaching Hospital. And we dedicated some ambulances that, okay, you transfer this patient in there, you transfer this patient in there. And we will correlate and we disseminate information appropriately.
You are satisfied with not just the response time, you're also satisfied with virtually all aspects of emergency coordination?
Yes, I'm satisfied in one aspect. The other aspect, which is the crowd control, we will look into it and fine-tune it. Okay. Because it's one of our major challenges. But it's getting better. But we will look into it. Before, you won't have access for the ambulances and the fire services. But yesterday, there was accessibility for them.
Would you, sorry to cut you there, but would you also put that down to the location of the accident?
I won't put it down to the location of the accident. Because don't forget that that place is not far from Mafoluku and Oshodi people. And Oshodi people are terrible people, if you look at it very well. The Mafoluku and Oshodi people.
I'm not sure they'll take very kindly to
I'm sorry about that.
In terms of the population?
In terms of the population, that place is densely populated, the Oshodi and Mafoluku area. So if you look at the location of that area, it's a densely populated area. But look at it again. That place is tank farm area. But it means if that place was not well managed, the fire will spread to the tank farm. and it will be another thing.
No, the reason I ask that is because, you know, in terms of location too, there have been times when an aircraft crashes and nobody knows where it is. I mean, they're not quite sure where it's crash landed, so response time in that particular instance becomes a challenge in terms of, you know, even finding the place and then, you know, getting there. So I'm saying in terms of location, would you say that your response time was also aided by the location
that is why
of the crash?
That is why I said earlier that there was a good cooperation between the states and the federal. The federal inform us. They inform us at the tower the location of the plane crash. So and the problem is half solved. When you know the location, they could have had the information and keep it to themselves and say that they are federal arms. But there was a good cooperation between the federal and the state. When they inform us that the incident is at so area, so we have the picture about what is going on, and we alerted our hospital that, look, be ready for this plane carries so number of people. So we have the baseline information. So it allows us to prepare well for the rescue and for the treatments of the victims.
All right, then we have to thank you for coming on. Olufemi Okel, Scientolo, GM, LASEMA. So if anyone likes to volunteer any information, they can do that to the emergency response agencies, I reckon.
Yes.
All right.